Good morning to all. Hope all of you are enjoying the IEEE webinar, sitting at home safely. Ayush has already introduced about myself. I will skip that part. And thanks for IEEE and the volunteers for giving this opportunity for me to speak on this occasion. So I'm going to talk about the innovation and intellectual property in the today's scenario. If you look at Thursday, what he talked about 1100 innovations in a short span of time to combat COVID-19 is really mind-boggling, and hope that they are all are being getting protected by the IPR for the benefit of the inventors. Okay, so before that, I'm going to talk quickly about the different forms of IPR available, which you can take advantage of it, and more focus on the information available in the patent and how we can extract those information and use in our innovation activities. And then at each and every stage of the innovation, how you can identify it. And then at each and every stage of the innovation, how you can identify. Hello. Hello.
Sir, we have muted everybody. You can continue.
Okay, at every stage of innovation, how you can identify and protect different form of IPRs, which is available for us. Okay, as you know, intellectual property is the creation of human intellect, creativity, and inventiveness. There are quite a few different forms of intellectual formats available across the globe, and governments are giving a right for those creators to get a benefit out of the intellectual property they have created to earn a revenue for the investment they have made. As Kaushik said, there are bad people all the time, at the same time good people at all the time. The good people creates a lot of knowledge which is useful for the community, and bad or stupid people trying to use it illegally. There is a section of the knowledge, we call it traditional knowledge, which has been accumulated over the centuries by the local or indigenous communities, which is still not available for all the public to use, not in public domain, and most of the time it is communicated generation to generation in the oral format. So the intellectual property organizations and the governments are trying to put a format or the process in place so that this information is all for the public. At the same time, the owners will get a benefit for the knowledge. So this is a work in progress, but we should know that this kind of information is available, and there are people who try to use this by protecting their own patent for innovation. You might be heard about the patents applied in US for haldi and turmeric, but later on it has been revoked by providing irrelevant information, saying that this already exists for centuries before we go ahead. Okay, the next kind of form of intellectual property is the copyright, which is basically for arts and literature. And now in the modern business environment, a lot of business activities formats like software codes, the engineering drawings, the instruction manuals, all can be protected in the form of copyright. The third format is industrial properties. There are 5 different kinds of formats available here. The trademark to identify the products and the producers in the marketplace. The second one is the trade secret. This is to protect the confidential business information, which is a competitive advantage for the organization. And the third one is the topography of integrated circuits for semiconductor and electronics industries, which can be protected in this format. And the fourth one is geography indications, mainly for agricultural and manufacturing products, which have a distinctive attributes because of its place of origin. And the fifth one is the patents, it's basically for the technical inventions. There are 4 types of patents available. One is the plant patent for the new variety of plants, and the design patent for only the external appearance of the product, And the utility models and utility patents for technological inventions. Utility models is basically for a small and petty inventions. It is not available in all the countries, predominantly in China, Korea, and Japan. And utility patents is for all the normal inventions. It's available all over the world. Let's look at how these different kinds of intellectual properties is associated with any of the products, whether it is a new product or the already existing products. I just took an example of a smartphone just to explain. See, there is a trademark which is used to distinguish the smartphone and the manufacturer from the others in the field. Then the copyright to protect the software codes, the instruction manuals, and engineering drawings. There is a patent for all the technical innovations which has been embedded into the system. And a trade secret for all the business information which is confidential. It can be either advertisement policies, the strategy, or the customer information, are like many things. Even the business strategy, how to position the product in the marketplace. If it is gone out and public in the competitors, it will create a lot of disadvantage. And lastly, the topography of it is mainly applicable for electronic goods, for the design layout of the integrated circuits. Let's look at what is the impact of these intellectual properties and the revenue generation. Just give an example for the smartphone. In the year 2016, there are 29 companies which earned about 14 billion for a sale of 425 billion smartphones. It's approximately 5 to 6% of the sale value of smartphones. And now you know there is a smartphones with a 5G technology is going to come at any time. There are few companies which have quite a lot of intellectual properties. They are expecting quite big of revenues from this one. Let's look at the three companies which are forefront in that, which I could able to get some information. This is Nokia. Nokia is expecting around $3.5 per smartphone sold of a 5G technology. And Qualcomm is looking for $28 to $35 per phone, and Ericsson is $16 to $35. So it's hugely. It's sometimes will be equal to, you can get a basic phone in India for this amount of royalty amount. And there will be expected of around $20 billion per year at the rate of 5% of the sale value for the 5G phone. I think this is the figure I got it a few months back, but considering that the present scenario with the COVID-19 breakout, the smartphone is going to be an integral part, an essential part of everybody's life. That could be a student, with a professional, and the teachers. I think maybe a smartphone will be very essential for what survive. Okay, keeping this in mind, the importance of the intellectual property. Let's see what are the information available in the patents documents, which is very essential to understand what's going on on technology side and on the market side. It's the business information available for each of the patent applications, the documents, which is who is the owner of the document and who is the inventor, and which are all the countries that have been protected, so that you can easily ascertain where is actually the intellectual property rights exists and who is the owner of it. The second is the legal information. Once the patent application is filed, in the time you do the analysis, you will understand what are the different stages of these documents, the applications, whether it is expired or in the process of granting or it is the examination process, or if it is expired, why it is expired. Because of the end of its term, or because it's abandoned or somebody is invalidated. So that these are all going to be very useful information to understand the technology that is there. And if the patent is active, then you can look at the claims which you need to avoid while introducing your products. The third part is the technical information. The technical information, the patents are drafted in a very systematic and methodological way. Each patent will have the background section which explains what is the problem the patent is being solved. And there is a summary section, what is the solution they found out. And in a detailed description, it has been clearly explained how the solution is being executed and what is the best way of doing it. This is the legal judgment the inventor or the crafter has to give the best mode of implementing the invention. And in each of these documents, there will be reference documents related to a particular technology which is being in the patent. There is a forward reference and a reverse reference. The references which exist before this document and also the references created after this document are related to the technology involved. So very good of information one has to get from this, and there are 100 crore plus patent applications of the documents available for public to use in different patent offices as well as in private data banks. Out of which nearly 1.5 crore patents are active at present. It's a global figure. So out of 100 plus crore, most of the patents are available for free of use without taking any permission. That's quite huge of information technologically. And as a survey done by the European Patent Office, 70% of the technical information which is available in patents are not available anywhere else. So it tells that the patent document is a key resource for the analysis of the technical documents, technical information. Now, let's try to explore how these information can be used in our innovation process. So the first thing we can use technology assessment. Once an idea or the product is decided for the development and the innovation process, we need to look at what are the patents available in that field of time. Maybe over the period, the patent system exists more than 100 years, you can pick all the technology available, or maybe few years depending on when the products or technology came into the market. So by analyzing each and every element related patent identified, you can clearly map it out. What are the technologies and what is the space available to invent or go ahead further, and also the technology development trend over the years. Like when the technology has started, who are the people who have these patents in place, and how the technology is developed over there. Still, it's growing up, or it's flattened curve, or decreasing. And you can also find out why it has happened. And the other one is the competitive assessment. There's a lot of business information is available in the market. You can see who are the competitors and how they are playing in the market. Third is the patentability. Once the invention is, the idea is clear and shortlisted, you can explore with a patent search and other prior art search whether the invention is patentable or not. If it's patentable, then you can go ahead with the file a patent. If it is not patentable, let's see how to turn around, or is that free information available in the existing patent so that same can be used. Next is the risk assessment. One is once the product is developed, before going to the market, we need to express as the product as infringing any of the patents which is available in the field from the others, so that we need to respect if there is a legally active patent. If you found any patent which is we are infringing it, the product is infringing it, now we need to explore the alternate opportunity available. So one of the option is to invalidate that patent, to see that whether the patent is actually granted as per the later rules and regulations. You can explore that, you can invalidate that. If that is not possible, they can take the alternate route to see that whether the same technology can be licensed. If not, then we will also abandon the process. So going next to the, so it's very important to see where the information is available and how to extract it and how to use it for our innovation stages. So what happens if you don't do any of these things? Then after all, the product is in market and you will end up with infringing someone else document. So it's very important to do a proper search, analyze it, and see that we are not infringing any of the documents and what we invented is only. After starting these activities, I'm receiving a lot of people who are coming for me to file a patent applications, whatever that. And many people come spending 1 year, 2 years, saying that they are invented and they want to file an application. Sometimes they come with already a provisional applications filed and go for the final applications. And if you look at those inventions, I found that most of the things are available readily in a patent documents, but they are not explored it and they are not aware of that information available on the lists. So avoid such situation. It's always good to explore the patent documents before starting any invention and burning our investment. Now, let us look at the innovation process. I selected just for a demonstration process, a 5-stage innovation process. Okay. Typical process involves the identification of the project, the business proposal, then an ideation process, collecting different ideas for the business proposal, and also collecting the voice of the customers and businesses so that you come up with a proper idea. The next is the concept. Once you have identified what you are going to do, create a concept with all the idea generation and then work on towards developing the design. When the design is ready, then next will be the optimization of these things. So that the design is working properly, the material selected, components identified, the manufacturing process selected is good to produce faster, safer, and low-cost products, and it meets the customer requirement. The next is the validity of these design to check whether all the parameters are working properly, meets the customer requirement as targeted, and also the product performs as per the standards which is incorporated. Once the product is ready, the next option is the diffusion of this technology in the form of production, vendor development, manufacture, whether in-house or from outside, and also marketing and sales strategies. So this is the typical 5-stage innovation process. Now look at each of the stage, what is the opportunity available for creation of intellectual property. So the identify stage, what we do, we need the technology assessment to see that is an opportunity available, or we need to go for licensing or develop our own technology. Then we do competitive assessment, and then we took a lot of feedback from customers and business so that we take care of all the business requirement as well as customer needs. This is a very crucial information, and it's a lot of competitive advantage. This needs to be protected without going out in the company. So these information you can kept as a confidential information, but because this you cannot even protect as a patent because it's going to be published later on. So this is one form of information you can create an IPR in the identify stage. The next stage is the conceptual stage where you finalize the concept and create the design. So what to do the activities? If the concept is novel or not, we need to do a novelty search to the prior art and the patent documents. And if it is for novel, then next activity is to create a patentability analysis. And during the design part, we create a lot of drawings and technical parameters. All these will create a patent and a copyright information. Like the invention will be a patent and the design documents will be a copyright. So you create another set of intellectual property in the conceptual stage. Now come to the optimized stage. So what we do? We do the optimization of the design, the materials used, the components selected, and the technology itself, and also the process of manufacturing and producing the product. So this can come out with a new additional patents with new innovations as well as a trade secret which can be kept confidential. So another set of IPRs you can create from optimization stage. The next is the validation stage. We need to look at all the test parameters and the design characteristics have been met. And once the product is finalized and ready to go for manufacture, so we need to have the opportunity to have a design patent for the external appearance of the product. At the same time, you also do the risk assessment to see that the product is not infringing any of the active patents. So again, risk assessment to document the confidential information. So here you can create another set of IPR as a design patent for external appearance and a copyright for all the test reports and other things. The next stage is the diffusion stage, where we start the production either inside or outside, and also marketing and sales opportunities, where you are going to do the branding and you start advertising it, create manuals, and also pricing and positioning. Okay, so this brings out another set of products, the trade secret for trademark. So with this, we're going to create quite a lot of a bunch and a combination of intellectual property at the end of innovation cycle, the process. And many of these innovation process may not end up with a final product which is going to be in the market for many reasons. Some of the reasons may be lack of investment, or sometimes it may the market is not ready with the very basic or disruptive innovations. So what we need to do at that time? Many large corporates which create a lot of intellectual property inside, and they may not like going to file patent application because market is not ready. They keep everything is a trade secret so that they can use it when the opportunity or the market is mature. So it's always important to have best uh, policy in place so that whatever the intellectual property is created throughout the innovation process has been protected and safeguarded. And why you need to do this? There is a lot of opportunity uh, to utilize these patents. In many places, when we are not able to produce the product in the market for many reasons, this IPR is going to be a lifeline, what we call the value of death of an invention. Even though we are not able to complete the innovation process, but we will be having an invention which creates a lot of intellectual property. Okay, so there are a lot of advantages both on the institutional as well as on the market if you have a right set of intellectual property in place. Okay, that can be an financial support, any startups or the individuals or the big companies with a very financial health. The first thing that the investor look at what kind of intellectual property they have and how they can grow. Similarly, there will be a lot of collaboration approach with a lot of industries and scientific organizations while developing these things. And we can get a lot of joint ventures and partnership opportunities. Similarly, it creates a continuous learning and the innovation culture in the organization. At the same time, in the market, you will get a lot of other advantages like premium branding, competitive advantage, a barrier for the entry of the competitors in the market because the organizations a lot of intellectual property. It's not easy for the company to create if they are not active. And if all these things not going to work out, and if you have a solid intellectual property that it can be, you can get a revenue either by licensing or sell it with a partnership. Okay, with this, let me summarize what you can take out from this presentation. Any organization, if it's individual or small or big, should have proper IP policy and process in place. Even for a small or individual inventor, they should think of have some policy in place. And everybody in the organization should be very familiar with IPR policy and process so that there should not be an ignorance which creates a lot of hope in the organization. And each and every stage of innovation or any business activity, look for the opportunity for the IPR, exist and protect it. And then with a proper production and management of IP, it will be a lot of competitive advantage for any of the organizations. As I said earlier, IPR is going to be a lifeline for case of value of death for the innovation. The examiner manpower resources available in India, but for last 4-5 years with introduction of innovation policy in India, the situation is getting improved. Okay, so they have recruited a lot of examiners. Now I think the time has come down between 2 to 3 years, and maybe another 1 year that's going to be reduced to 2 years. That's what I think to know that. Okay, so earlier it used to be 6 years, 7 years. Now the timeline has been reduced quite a lot. Okay, and now if you are an individual or startup, there is another facility has been implemented called the expedited examination. With additional payment of fee, you can expedite the examination very quickly. And recently there are applications which have been granted or finalized within 6 months. Okay, you can look for such opportunities available options. I see. This is to have that you should know what is the intellectual property system exists now, and also how to read the patent, how to search the patents to get the relevant patent which is related to the technology. Okay, There are a lot of free databases available, which you can search, like a Google Patent is there, and the Patent Scope is there, and also the eSpaceNet, it's a European Patent Office database is available. They are free. And there are also quite a lot of paid databases available, like Derwent Innovation, Packbase, Innography. There are so many things. If the colleges have a subscription for such databases, they can use it. But during college days, it's good enough to go with Google Patent and Patent Scope or the eSpaceNet. Okay, so maybe we can, we are discussing, I'm going to conduct some of these sessions for how to conduct the patent search and how to read the patents and what are the, how to do the novelty or patentability search. So look for those sessions from IEEE.